Today, though, we're here to be able to provide some grants, a grant for Union County here and in Lake Butler. We have had a lot of opportunities to do some stuff to fortify infrastructure in a variety of ways. One of the ways is some of the money that comes in over a long-term period of time after some of these hurricanes. And so Hurricane Irma, we got money, and this takes years and years, and Dane Eagle can talk about it, but we have the opportunity to help fortify infrastructure in places throughout the state. And when you're talking about something like Irma, I mean, it hit almost the entire state other than the Panhandle. So we have the ability to do that. So today, we're going to be providing some support to be able to harden infrastructure here in Union County. This will be something that'll be good to prepare for future disasters and make the county more resilient. And so this is a community development block grant program that is administered by the Department of Economic Opportunity, and we're going to be able to do today to the city of Lake Butler $3.5 million for the wastewater collection and pumping system hardening. And so that will go a long way. They'll be able to harden the master pump station, wastewater force main resiliency, and provide generators for 6 different pump stations. And so this is something that we were happy to do, particularly to be able to help our rural areas. And I think that this will serve, this system serves pretty much every resident of the city, which is a really big deal. So we are going to continue to work with our local communities to be able to do value-added things. And so I actually have where's the check right here? So I'll present it to you all. So whoever wants to come and get in this picture, you guys want to? Okay. Got it? All right. Congratulations. We are also, for the legislative session, going to be asking for $230 million in funding, economic development funding for rural communities. And so that's more of a $100 million increase over the previous year. That'll go to a lot of different things, some just traditional infrastructure. We're also doing a lot on rural broadband. It's interesting, though, when you look at the rural broadband gaps, it's not just all in small counties. We have large counties that actually have, and populated counties, but in the non-areas that aren't as populated, you have gaps there too. So it really does impact a lot of places throughout the state. So we're going to be doing that, and we look forward to doing that. And I think it's going to be a really good year for infrastructure generally, and I think it'll be a good year for the budget overall. Okay, Mayor, do you want to come up and say a few things?
I'd like to thank the governor for providing us this grant. It's going a long way toward, as he said, in hardening our infrastructure. We've acquired other grants, but this is going to help us quite a bit. I'd also like to thank Senator Bradley and Representative Payne for all their efforts over the last couple of years helping us, as well as our city manager, Dale Walker, and Midtower and Associates, our engineers, that are making this happen today. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep. All right, Secretary Dane Eagle, Department of Economic Opportunity.
Well, I want to thank the governor for his focus on these issues. We're talking about Hurricane Irma 4.5 years ago, and some may think, well, why now? This is money for last resort to help meet unmet needs. At the Department of Economic Opportunity, we have the Office of Long-Term Resiliency. So we look for areas across the state that are still trying to recover from past storms, and that's the exact purpose of these funds. So the governor has directed us to make sure that we're looking in pockets of the state that really have a need, and that's what we're doing today. This $3.5 million is going to go a long way to make sure that the city and the county don't have to suffer again after a future storm. We're going to harden the wastewater resiliency pumps to make sure that sewage isn't flowing into the streets. That's uncalled for. We're here to help the city and the county. Very happy to make this award today, and we have more to do. So we look forward to continuing to work with Floridians to make sure that they are resilient for future storms. Thank you to the governor for his leadership.
And we've Irma was a really significant. I mean, it was obviously a powerful storm. It wasn't on the in terms of the ferocity of the winds like Andrew or even Michael, but it was such a big one, and it hit so much of the state that it was really a unique event in the history of Florida. So we're happy to be able to take some of that funding and recognize that there's needs all across the state and be able to be here and help out in that regard. Well, what else do you guys need? Is there anything else we can do for you? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Well, I'm sure you guys can talk to your legislators and be able to figure out what would make sense, but we look forward to a productive legislative session, and I think you'll be happy here with what we're able to accomplish. Okay, anybody have anything? Yes, ma'am. No, and DEM has been asking about that for many, many weeks, anticipating that. And basically, the way they do this is they always want to have, enough tests so that if people need them, they can send them down. The result of that is, we had a stockpile, but no one really wanted them for many, many months. As the expiration date was coming, they had already gotten one extension. They had asked, can you do more? Can you do more? They said no. So hopefully they'll answer that, and if anyone wants those, they'll do. At the same time, if they're not accurate, we don't want to be giving people a false sense. But what I've been able to do is the federal government had promised these at-home tests, and they haven't delivered on that. So we said, look, people were asking about this, let's go. So we've acquired 1 million at-home tests. We're going to be sending those first to our nursing homes and long-term care facilities, and then we're going to focus getting those in the hands of our senior population who wants it, so that they're able to just do that and then move on. But at the end of the day, with how the Fed stuff works, it's always a struggle with anything you're doing. I mean, they promised at-home tests last month, didn't deliver. They have been taking away our early treatment. We did get 15,000 additional doses. I had asked for 30, so that's still not what we want, because we want to do more sites for people to be able to get treated. But that's just the reality that we're dealing with here. So I don't know when they're going to provide any type of an answer, but I know people at the Department of Emergency Management have been asking about this since November and have still not been able to get a response.
So